Hello, and welcome to the Mead Gaming's Hobby Podcast. I'm your host, Jay, and today I am joined by...
John.
And Ele. Hello.
I thought I'd about to go both ways.
I wasn't prepared.
John showed me up in a previous episode by getting it right every time, so thanks for that.
Oh god, you're
welcome.
Honestly.
Yep.
So, guys, thank you for joining me once again. We've got an Elle's back for a guest appearance again. Hopefully, regular appearance at some point in the future, but at the moment, it's a bit hit and miss.
A little bit.
Yeah, but that's fine, because we don't have a Joe this week, so you're here as in his place, so to speak.
Yes.
Are we ready for today? You guys have obviously got a preview of what's happening.
Oh yeah, I'm so ready.
It is going to be chaos, and
I'm so excited. I'm also a little bit afraid as well, but you know, it's fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine. So,
yeah,
this episode will be coming out after the conclusion of our in-depth talk series on our sort of lore and armies that we're going to be producing for Legions Imperialis.
yeah.
So for today's episode, I thought we would go to something a little bit more relaxed and fun. How much people take this seriously could be brought into question.
Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and take that from you. Okay, so.
Someone's trying hard today.
Someone is. Someone's passionate.
Guys, when you watch the rest of the episode, you will understand. Okay, don't ignore them. They don't know what they're talking about.
Right then, so on to today's episode. So, in this episode, we are going to be taking on the role of a Warmaster, assembling our ultimate war councils for a great crusade. Each of us must draft a team of 6 Primarchs to lead an epic, system-spanning campaign. But power alone won't win the war. Can you balance brilliance, loyalty, ruthlessness, and synergy? Or will your council collapse under the weight of ego and ideology? Welcome to the Warlord's Table. Well, so we are going to be playing a little bit of the game today, so to speak. But before we get onto that, we do need to head over to our regularly scheduled content of the week, which is obviously the Tankard Talk.
I don't have a tankard. Oh no, I'm sorry.
No. They're literally in the room next door.
Know. I know.
Never mind. Anyway, I will see you both over in Tankard Talk in just a moment.
Absolutely.
And welcome back. So, here we are in our display area for Tankard Talk. And today is going to be quite a small, quite short Tankard Talk, because with the studio move and everything going on this end, we have not done much, if any, hobby, really. The room is still under construction. As you can see behind me, I now actually have a panel covering one of my shelving units. But it does need tidying up because it is a mess.
Yeah.
The joy of moving house. So.
Indeed. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. But John, you are going to be the host with the most, the special one today.
Ooh.
Because you've provided content for Tankard Talk.
I did. I've got some things.
You're in a unique position where I think only once has it happened before where I have not been the sole person to produce something. It's you this time who's only got. So this is quite interesting.
I mean, I haven't got that much, so we'll talk through what I've got.
Well, that's fine. Let's have a look what we got then.
Who is that?
That is I forget. Hold on, let me get the right name because they all have incredibly similar names. So this is the leader model from the Goremongers kill team. This is the Blood Herald. I've been working my way through that kill team and getting some paint down on them. I want to make the leader kind of stand out a bit more from the rest, so kind of doing a little bit like a narrative element to the paint job. So essentially what I've been doing, because it's like it's a kill team, so it's made up of, specialists within there, but then you've also got what they've started doing with a lot of the kill teams for the current edition of Kill Team is having like a couple of standard troops in there. And essentially, what I wanted to have is the amount of like brass that comes through on the model is essentially like a representation of seniority. But I still wanted the corn red. So essentially all of the leathers are done in red, and then all of the metalwork is done in this, well, as you can see, brass colour, which was then done with a Karienberg crimson to essentially bring like a more of a red, blood red vibe to it, especially in kind of the recess areas. And then I may have just gone to town with Blood for the Blood God because it's a corn kill team. What else are you going to spray them with?
I would say that looks quite reserved for a typical corn model, because normally that base would be plastered in gore.
Yeah, the base isn't quite finished yet, so there is going to be still a little bit more to go onto the base.
So you got the lovely amount on the blade, and you got a bit of spatter on the body as well.
There is a bit of spatter on the body,
but yeah, I think that base needs a healthy dose of spatter.
Yeah, I think once I get like the texture paint on and that's all dried, I'll be getting some more on there. But what I will say though is the skin the skin tone on this guy was great to do. Just really came together really nice and well. So it was a base of Rhinox hide. Mm-hmm. To kick things off, which then washed with Nuln Oil, and then kind of coming in from the centre, it was then back to Rhinox hide, and then a mix of Rhinox hide and Doomball Brown, and then just finally Doomball Brown and kind of the highlights. My photography skills and miniatures is not the best, but in person, I am actually really chuffed with how it came out. And the other thing that I really like is just the grenades, doing them in green, just like breaks just a little bit of the kind of monotony of colour. And it was like
how long did it take you?
It's been kind of on and off for a little bit. It was probably about 2 evenings worth of putting together. Just having something to kind of pour a little bit of time into. I'm quite chuffed. I mean, as a kill team, I've been doing them quite heavily with the dry brush to kind of start off with, so it helps a lot with getting kind of highlights and lowlights ready to go. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to pour some effort into the leader. You know, you've got one leader model. I'm going to make sure he stands out good.
Yeah, I think we do have another. That's a different model. Is there a back? Is that the back?
Yeah, picture of the back. Yeah.
You got quite a bit more gore on the back there, actually.
Yeah, there's a bit more of kind of like a splatter down the back, because basically like the tanks that are on their back are meant to be filled with blood.
Right. Okay.
So hence like the idea being is like it's actually just like dripping out of the back of it, along with obviously the remainder of kind of like just more splatter around the back. But I was aiming for slightly less around the back. I appreciate that in some regards it does look like more, but I was aiming for slightly less around the back. I mean, just because it wouldn't make sense.
That's easily solved.
Just more at the front.
Exactly.
Well, so funny you mentioned more at the front, because
does that lead in somewhere?
That does lead into the front of the other model, who
oh wow.
He is the Skull Claimer, who runs with a big old chain axe. And I think that this model has appeared on the channel before. Mm-hmm. When I was doing I showed off the skin, just the skin, but now he's all finished. Yeah. So he's kind of being done basically at the same time, like going back and forth between them. But the skin on that one was. I really want to try and push for like a really, really pale, almost like blue, like sickly kind of colour to the skin. Mm-hmm. So that then when he gets absolutely covered in blood for the blood god there, the red pops of like blood all over the skin really highlight out. And there you can see like a degree of seniority. The weapon is more brassy compared to like the armour or the legs being in that red. So kind of like having that little bit of kind of differentiation to be like, yeah, this guy's a little bit more important. I will also say as well that these were done All of the brass bits and most of the silver bits were done using those new AK marker pens.
Oh.
And they are, like, especially the metallics. Oh, they're so nice. Like, they run. You got to be careful. Like, if you're doing small bits, like when I was doing the buckles and stuff like that, you got to be careful not to put too much pressure on because then they'll overflow. But just to be like, I could just like I was just literally using a pen on it, just over all the axe. That was basically just done in one coat, and then washed with Reichland First Shade to add a bit of warmth into it because brass is quite cold, so like add a bit of heat warmth back into it. And then I was trying to go for, it doesn't hugely come out, but I was trying to go for like a marble kind of pillar underneath him as well.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with quite a warm color scheme, it's there, but it's not perfectly there.
It looks very, very cool, and
It does.
very corny.
So the reason why I'm focusing on trying to get these together is in a couple of weeks' time, we're doing a 3-way kill team game, which are all melee teams. So we've got one person who's bringing a striking scorpions team, and I'm trying to remember what the other one that it's going to be. It skipped my mind, but yeah. So we're going to have 3 melee focused teams going at each other. So I was like, I want to make sure I've got these guys kind of together so that I can then run them and hopefully claim some skulls and get some blood.
Nice. Coming from the guy who's not a World Eaters player.
Listen.
Yeah, totally not. Totally not.
I'm budget world. I'm budget World Eaters. I'm World Eaters without getting bored of painting all of the red, and I still have the chains on the weapons and all of that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I can just choose to shoot as well, but realizing now that by the current codex, I think World Eaters lists currently look like they run a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
The codex has led hard into the shooting side of it. Yeah. So those are my two for the Goremongers kill teams. That takes me up to 3. I've got 5 left to go, although they are not going to be as detailed as my leader kind of model. I was like, I'm going to pour some good time into that one.
I'm just having a look at, just quickly going back and looking at the axe on the back there. That the blood spatter effect on that's really nice.
Would you like to know what I used for it?
Sure.
A toothbrush.
Okay.
A really like just manked up toothbrush so that it's got the bristles are already separated. So when you drag it across, it doesn't give like a consistent pattern. And you can, and then I can also like use it to just like dab like bits of blood on there. Obviously, like I ran like a good amount down the blade and then just kind of just swiped it up with the toothbrush because it's the same thing I use to do the blood spray. I like put a load on the end of the toothbrush, just kind of flick it. Although I cannot ever seem to get it quite right. Like it will cover, it will go onto the model, but at the same time the bristles will go that way and then flick back.
Yeah, see,
so I'll come out of painting and just come out covered.
I solved that problem because I had that problem as well.
Is it is it bust out the airbrush and spray it in a direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's what I should be doing, but it is also. I feel like I get I get painted at the same time. I'm living the life of my models, you know, as I come out just covered in little red spots.
I feel like I need to put a screen that flashes up World Eaters player every time.
Listen, there's nothing to say that it won't happen. I do have some CSM models, although I was going to do them as Red Corsairs, which could contain a World Eater. So maybe I'll throw a little World Eater in there because they can be made up of literally everybody. Is what I found reading into some of their lore.
Well, that's not dissimilar to the Battle Legion, is it?
It's yeah. Although I do kind of like the vibe of the Corsairs a little bit more because it like they just have people who go out and be like, hey, do you want to go mess with the Imperium, and they're just like, "Yep, let's go."
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, I can get behind that.
Me
So,
too.
Very cool. Well, I have to say that is everything we've got for Tankard Talk. It's a nice short one this time.
Mm.
Yeah.
But more stuff is coming, I can assure you. It just might be a little bit of time before we get to new stuff from our end anyway.
Yeah.
So, hopefully.
Seeing as the only Warhammer related thing we've done at the moment is put models in boxes and then put them back in their display cases.
Yeah, pretty much.
That takes time. I know that takes time. At some point, the shelves that sit behind me will have to be sorted and organised.
Well, I am hoping I'm going to get a display unit up here for the Legion stuff. Because this new studio space is very large. We've got a massive amount of space now for our table, which is quite nice.
Yeah, the room itself is set up really nicely.
It's okay. I'm not jealous about the fact that I literally cannot get a gaming table inside of my house.
Yeah, but that's where you come right.
That's
here.
why you come to us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. But there isn't even a choice. They don't even have the option of saying, "Would you like to come round?" Because it'd be like, "We can't play, but you can come round."
Okay then. So, with that being said, I think it's time to move on to the main event today, because I know someone in the team is very excited.
Oh, Dad, I don't know who you're talking about.
I mean, I'm excited too. Although I do have to appreciate looking at our timestamps that it wasn't an hour-long Tankard Talk.
No, it wasn't, for a change.
I think we should go off on a brief tangent here, Jay. Is there something you want to talk about?
I think not.
Fine.
No, we probably.
I know you love each other very much, but come on, don't make me into a third wheel here. You're supposed to be the third wheel.
Yeah, but
Come on, John.
I'm looking at the arrangement of the cameras, and I think you'll find that I'm closer.
Okay, I think we're going to move on before jealousy gets to a new high.
Okay, yeah.
I will see you go into in the main section. See you soon.
See you there.
And welcome back. So, it is time for the main course of today's show, the Warlord's Table.
Yeah.
So today we're playing a little game where we're going to be assigning Primarchs to our own little fantasy, almost like a fantasy football team, but it's our fantasy war council for the Warhammer, Horus Heresy, Great Crusade era. So we're going to basically imagine that we're an emperor or emperor-like character, and we've got access to all the Primarchs, and we just decide, you know what, we're only going to take 6 of them, the rest can go away. And these are the ones that we're going to take into a campaign. However...
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like instead of fantasy football, it would be like fantasy Blood Bowl.
Yes.
Keep it on theme,
Fantasy Blood Bowl, yeah, that's good. And actually, to be fair, probably not an emperor-like character. We're probably some kind of high-ranking imperial official, because obviously there is only one emperor, and there's 3 of us. So, in this scenario, we're actually going to have access to all 18 Primarchs, but we can only have 6 each. We are going to divide them, so there's no copying. Okay, so
we have to share our Primarchs.
So no duplicate Primarchs. One could argue there's one potential exception there, but we're not going to do that one. They
you can't split them up. They
are one.
Yeah, you get them as a package.
They're a package deal.
You pay for one, you get the other one as a surprise, and also free.
Although Ferris Manus does have some assembly required.
There's a few of them that have that.
Okay, so we are imagining that all the
he kind of needs to head back.
Yeah, so we're going to assume that all the Primarchs are perfectly alive. So this is taking place, during the the tail end of the Great Crusade. We've got access to all 18. They're in their current state, or their most optimum state. So no demon Primarchs, anything like that. There is also to be no negotiations. When you get to pick your Primarch, you pick your Primarch. You cannot trade. You cannot convince the other person to not take that Primarch. Which means if your favourite does get stolen, it's tough luck. Okay?
I genuinely might end up crying in this episode, just so you know.
And to try and sort of make things as even as possible, the selection process will be random. There will be a series of rounds, so 6 rounds, and the initiative for each round will be determined by this little Alpha Legion dice. Which I will have to roll off camera. I don't have a camera set up for it, so you will just have to trust me.
Rigged.
Okay. So it'll basically be a D3 to start with, and we'll go in the sequence, and then the second round, the second initiative essentially will just be a
Oh no, I'm really nervous now because Jamie can't roll for shit.
Yeah, but he's rolling for other people, so you know it's rolls against him, which means
that's even worse. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna the universe is just testing my love.
So just to be clear in terms of it, the rules. Are we doing a drafting and then an assigning, or do we draft everything and then assign at the end?
We will draft our Primarchs first, and then the next phase of this episode we will be assigning our Primarchs to roles. Okay. So basically, we're going to be putting each of our Primarchs in commanding positions for certain avenues of our campaign, and then the ending of the session will be to sort of try and decide who has the best War Council, who we think might be the most successful.
So we pick them, then we assign them,
then we have a discussion.
Right, okay.
So I'm going to swap over to this camera. It's not a tier list, just before anyone says it, it's not actually a tier list. This is just for demonstration purposes only.
I noticed that you put your name on the top there, Jay. Just curious about that one.
It's just habit.
Why am I the bottom one? That's sexist. I should have at least been put in the middle. Also, I'm taller than you, so I should have gone at the top.
Hey,
Wait, no,
this is in descending height order. Thank you for giving me the way out there, Elle.
Wow.
That actually doesn't even work anyway, because John.
I was going to say that's a lie. Otherwise I'd be at the top.
That's true. Okay, it's just the order that I wanted to do it in. If you don't like it, I'll delete you.
It's episodes appeared on. It's based off of episodes appeared on.
Sure. Okay, so let's get the dice rolling. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll dice, and I'm going to do this in camera order. So, I'm number 1, John's number 2, Elsa's number 3. I'm going to roll a d6, or a d3 in this case. Okay, for the first draft, for the first pick of the Primarchs. I rolled a 6. Els, you get to pick first.
Oh my god. Yes, let's go.
The camera's having a time there, okay?
Okay. Conrad, because I can't even spot him. There he is. Ooh. Oh, wrong screen. There we go.
Oh, I missed the choice selection there. But I should have accepted because.
Oh, you missed it. Yes. Okay, so between me and John then, so I'm low, you're high.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 3, so that is me next. I am going to take big old Magnus.
Ooh. Last choice then. I am going to grab Sanguinius.
That is a good pick.
Next to Fulgrim.
Okay, so first draft is complete. We have the Psychic Magnus, we have the Angel, himself, and we have the Night Haunter.
Night Haunter.
Round 2. Who is going first? Same again. It's a 3. Sorry, a 2. Well, I rolled a 3. It's a 2, so therefore John gets first pick.
Ooh, next pick. I am gonna grab... Give me Gilliman.
Ooh, Giddy Bob.
Give me Gillibob.
Oh, he's going for a very loyalist pick here. Okay, so...
For now.
So, I'll be low, you'll be high. Els. Ooh, and I rolled a 6 again, so it's Els again.
The lion.
The lion. Ooh. Oh, that's a choice. I've got comments about that choice.
That is a fractious party right there.
So
Don't even.
I'm going to claim the Warmaster.
Oh my life.
Okay, right. I'm going to roll the dice again. So, before we continue, currently, well, in this round, we've got the Warmaster for myself, the Master of Spreadsheets has gone to John, and the most knightly of knights has gone to Els.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a knight theme on the bottom rank there. Right, here we go. Rolling for the next round. A 6. Els is going again. See, I can't roll. I'm literally not rolling very well for myself here, am I?
Yeah, that's a real trick.
Go on then, Els. Who is going to be your third pick?
Alfarius Omegon.
Oh, you stole the Alfarius.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be low, you'll be high, John. Okay, it's me this time. Okay. So, right, I am going to grab the Praetorian of Terror.
Oh.
Who's that?
Rogel Dawn.
Well,
Okay.
coincidentally, I would like to grab your antithesis.
Perturabo?
Give me that Purdy.
Fair enough. So round 3, we've seen the Praetorian of Terror go to myself. We have seen the Master of the Iron Cage, I think it's called. In Perturabo, going to John. And Els has very evilly stolen from me the Alpha Legion's Primarch, Alfarius Omegon.
Yeah.
In fact, technically, Els has stolen all the Primarchs of our factions, so well done.
That was hat trick the Mead Hall collection right there.
Yeah.
I told you, I'm taking this seriously.
Right, okay, so we are going to roll for the next round then. So, going up first is me.
Oh no.
Oh, I get to pick now. I think I'm going to take the Executioner.
Ooh.
Demon and Roos.
Okay.
Okay, so high is going to Els, low is going to John. High again. Els is doing very well on these rolls, to be honest.
Corvus Corax.
Interesting. Okay. And John, you get your final pick for this round.
I'm gonna pick Lorgar.
Ooh, Lorgar.
Why?
Interesting.
Okay, babe. Alright.
Okay, so in this round, the Emperor's Executioner has been claimed by myself. The Master of the entire heresy, essentially, has gone down to John. And Els has again picked another sneaky pick here with the Raven Guard's Primarch in Corvus Corax.
Yeah.
Round 5. Who is going first? It is... Oh, okay, I'm rolling well for myself now. It was a 1. Okay. So, okay. Who do I want next? I'm going to take Vulcan.
I'm very upset about that.
Okay, John is low, Els is high. I rolled a 1. John, you get to pick.
Oh, let's have a look. Can I get a Jagatai Khan?
Yes, you can.
No, why? I hate you. I'm sorry.
Els, you get to pick the final one from this round.
So who do we have left?
We have Mortarion of the Death Guard. We have Ferrus Manus of the Iron Hands. Angron of the World Eaters, and Fulgrim of the Emperor's Children.
I'm gonna go with Fulgrim.
Okay. Right. Here we go then.
And hope for the best.
Who is picking first for the final picks? Els, you get the first of the final. Ferrus, okay. John, you're high, I'm low. I know which one I want out of these. And I do get to pick. I rolled a 1. I will take the Champion of the Death Guard.
Oh, okay.
Which will give you...
Angron. Interesting.
Okay, so that is the draft. This is very interesting picks. I can already see 2 very glaring mistakes, and one of them is mine. But we'll see how that pans out.
I'm just making a note of who I got.
That's right. I'm going to leave them on screen. So what I'll do is I'll reorder them to align with our positions. Right then. So the draft has been completed. So on Team J we have Magnus the Red, Horus Lupercal, Rogaldorn, Leman Russ, Vulcan, and Mortarion. John is bringing Sanguinius, Rute Gilliman, Perturabo. The name.
Lorgar.
Thank you. Lorgar Aurelian, the Khan, Jagatai, and Angron. And Els is bringing Conrad Kurz, the Night Haunter, the Lion, Alfarius, Omegon, Corax, Fulgrim, and Ferrus Manus. So, the next thing we must do is we now must assign each of our Primarchs to positions within their council. Okay, so we're going to do this one at a time, and you will lock in each position as you go. Okay, so we'll do this all live, and we'll do it one at a time. Okay. So the first position that our Primarchs must take up is the position of Warmaster. So who will lead your campaign? Now, it doesn't really matter about the order here, because we're not necessarily directly competing. So it's up to you. Should we do it randomised, or should we just go in order?
No, we'll go in order of the
list running down. Yeah, that makes it easy.
Right. Okay, so I've now got to decide my Warmaster. Well, for me, the Warmaster's pretty obvious. I picked him for a reason.
It's Mortarion, of course.
Horus Lupercal is going to be my Warmaster.
I mean, I was going to say it makes the most sense, but
yeah,
I would also turn around and say we know what happens when he is the Warmaster.
No, we know what happens when he's corrupted by chaos. But as the Warmaster, he was very successful.
He was very successful. Yeah. Just gotta hope you keep that chaos corruption away this time.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy team. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, the guy did nearly bring down the Emperor of Mankind.
It came very close. yeah. You know what? I think he did a good job.
Okay.
But he didn't do a perfect job.
He didn't do a perfect job. So, John, who are you going to proclaim as your Warmaster?
Mine is already in the right place.
I figured
the
it
one
might
that's
be.
going to tie everything together. My boy Sanguinius.
I fucking knew it.
The natural Warmaster at the head of it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you right now, he's also there for a reason. So
Okay.
watch this space.
I'm just saying mine killed yours, but whatever.
Yeah, but I've got plans. I've got plans.
Els, who is going to be your Warmaster?
Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Eldest son of the Emperor, Primarch of the Dark Angels. Yeah, it's gonna be the Lion.
Gonna go
It's
for
the
the
Lion.
Ooh.
Did you think I was gonna pick Comrade?
And I thought you might have said Comrade, and I would have tried to argue away from it, but
I mean, to be fair, he was also a contender for the title of Warmaster, so we have all picked relatively obvious Warmaster choices.
I was going to say, I feel like that list there.
It should have been.
See, now
I think it probably should have been Sanguinius in fairness, but
my problem is I think the Lion is just too brutal to be the Warmaster.
yeah, especially at that time. Obviously, we are talking Great Crusade era. Yeah. Okay. So
was not chill.
Was not chill at all. Okay.
You have a decidedly unchill list. I've just realised now.
So we have the Warmasters in position. So the next title or position is the Lord Strategos, or Overseer of all battlefield strategy and offensive coordination.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in this regard, I am going to promote Mortarion as my Lord Strategos.
That's an interesting choice.
As he was the commander, or one of the commanders, of Horus's Siege on Terra, and is known to be quite strongly on the offensive.
I was going to say the other thing as well is obviously leader of the Dusk. Were they Dusk Raiders before they became the Death Guard?
Yes.
Which were like a very effective fighting force.
Yeah, the Death Guard themselves are definitely a top tier aggressive force. Okay,
it's a good force.
So John, who will be your Lord Strategos?
My Lord Strategos is I'm going with a kind of a bit of a hammer and an anvil approach to this one. So we need somebody who's gonna strike hard and fast.
I have a funny feeling I know where we're going with this one.
I'll be taking Khan up as my Lord Strategos.
Okay.
Leveraging that
commander of your offensive strategies.
My offensive strategies.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, Els, who is your Lord Strategos?
My Lord Strategos is going to be Alpharius Omegon.
Ooh. That's an interesting pick. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a couple of good contenders for that role.
I did, but I actually changed my mind twice on who was going to have that role because somebody took the person I was originally going to have for that. Thank you.
What was it? Was it me? Did
Yes!
I cause the problem? Did I then also put them exactly where you would have put them?
Yes, I've got it written down.
I think Alpharius Omegon is a really interesting pick to have there because it's one of those like the offensive strategies are not going to be ones you see coming.
No, exactly. They're sneaky and very clever, and I feel like it would be something that would be truly horrifying to see on a battlefield.
I enjoy that. Also, if we look down that list, we kind of have almost like three different approaches to an offensive strategy. You've got like the slow marching, just wear them down over time. You've got the strike hard and fast, like get in, get the job done, get out. And then you've got we're going to take our time, but not in an obvious way. Like, you're not going to see the attack coming until it's too late.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's
quite interesting,
it's
actually.
Forming quite well at the moment. Okay, so next up on the agenda is the Lord Castellan, the Director of Fortification, Defence and Strategic Logistics. Now, for me, there is only one choice. That is, obviously, the Praetorian of Terror. Not leaving Russ.
Dawn.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was obvious.
Yeah.
Whilst we're here, then, Jay, do you want to just move mine into position?
Okay.
You already know the answer.
Oh, won't move. There we go.
There you go. He won't move.
30.
He will not move.
Power and Dawn in opposite positions. I mean, it's almost like it was meant to be.
It was like the beautiful polar opposites in those two of just the defensive strategies.
You were probably like me when you went into this. Like, if Dawn goes, you've got to pick Perturabo.
Yeah, or if you pick Perturabo, I was immediately going to pick Dawn. But I'm going at it with a slightly different approach. I'm hoping that with Sanguinius at the head, maybe Perturabo can be kept a little bit more kind of chill.
Maybe
I feel like that was part of the downfall of him. So maybe this is as a better counsel might help lead him up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Els, who is going to be your Lord Castellan in charge of your defences? Ooh, okay.
Well,
so you've got sneaky attacks and sneaky defences. We're going for full-on guerrilla warfare.
I am fascinated.
Yeah, okay.
I told you, I'm taking this seriously, boys.
I mean, it's an interesting lineup, and I have to say, I'm not opposed to it. Okay.
It's just an entire army hidden under a ghillie sheet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's progress on to the fourth position, Grand Marshals. Okay, so our enforcers of loyalty, discipline, and internal cohesion. Now, for me, this is going to have to be the most loyal of Primarchs. Who stood by the Emperor's side literally throughout the Siege of Terror, and is someone that I think would be quite capable of instilling discipline in your army. No one's arguing with that man. He's huge.
No one is arguing with him. Although my ever so slight counterpoint, I'm not saying it's bad paper. I'm just saying my ever so slight counterpoint to Vulcan is the kind of the sympathetic nature that kind of comes out quite a lot with the salamanders. Like when you've got that element, he's gonna insert the loyalty, but is he gonna get the discipline? That's the kind of.
Oh yeah, because they're big, muscly Space Marines and Primarchs. That you're not gonna argue with him, are you?
Well,
and
they have,
and he's also supplying you with all your high tech weapons.
I
mean, I've got the man here who literally brought Saturnine back.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah.
I'd argue with him, but that's for a different reason.
And moving on.
Moving on.
John, who is your Grand Marshal?
Well, my Grand Marshal is already in the right place. It is Gilliman as my leader. Loyalty, discipline, internal cohesion. I feel like he's gonna get those spreadsheets, and he's gonna it's gonna first of all internal cohesion is gonna manage that aspect there, and I think the kind of as a Primarch has had a very kind of balance, like is all about balance, very much all about balance on both sides of like the loyalty, the discipline. He's gonna get that codex is gonna be written. It's gonna be passed out there. Everyone's gonna get their copy of that codex.
He's the Obi-Wan Kenobi of 40k.
He's the rules lawyer, is what he is. And if you want somebody who's going to be your head of all of that internal cohesion, all the rules and things like that, that's where I'm sticking him. He's going to be there. He's going to write those rules, and they're going to be damn good rules.
This fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And Els, who is going to be your Grand Marshal?
So, I just changed my mind again for this one, and I've decided that my Grand Marshal is going to be Ferrus Manus.
Okay. Yeah. Theros Malus. He was quite famously well liked by his own Space Marines. I'm not sure that he was well liked by the others so much, but
You just got to, you just got to keep a level head.
yeah, which he's famously for.
That was a low blow, man.
Technically, it was a high blow.
I was.
Oh, stop it! Yeah. Leave the big boy alone.
The same page there. The same page.
You leave
You
him.
just read quicker than me.
Leave him alone.
I think it's your internal politics you're gonna have to worry about. Keep leaving him alone there.
Right. So, round 5, we have our Master of Doctrine. So, maintaining morale, propaganda, and ideological unity. Now, I'm going to make a prediction here that me and John aren't going to move anything now for the rest of this game.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jamie, but yeah.
Yes, Magnus the Red will be my Master of Doctrines, using those psychic abilities to maintain morale, provide mental support, and push the propaganda of the campaign into people's brains, and basically just psychically manipulate everyone to follow orders.
I mean,
So the horror heresy.
I mean, providing he doesn't try to help in any way, shape, or form, it should be fine.
So long as he doesn't ring Dad, you're fine.
Yeah, if Freddy doesn't try and ring Dad, he's fine.
Okay, so John, what are you gonna do?
Who could I possibly put in there for morale and ideological unity? It's obviously no, of course it's Lorgar.
Yes, Lorgar.
And as I said at the beginning, Lorgar. I actually made an active choice, but I was leaving Lorgar till later to not entirely reveal the hand of he was definitely going to be there as the Master of Doctrine, and essentially going down the route of you've got Sanguinius at the head of this crusade, literally embodying the Platonic ideology, like the idea of an angel. If you can't form basically an entire religion around that, you're doing it wrong. You just got to get the Emperor down off of his high horse and be like, no religion, be like, come on, this shit's gonna work. There's gonna be, we're not only gonna go down the route of ideal, we're gonna have merchandise, there's gonna be Sanguinius t-shirts, mega churches dedicated to Sanguinius, we're just gonna lean in hard into this.
Little wearable wings.
It just makes itself.
Yeah.
The seraphim, the seraphs of the Sister Battle, they just become I'm trying to combine Seraph and Sanguinius. You get the idea. The ideology goes in hard with the Warmaster. Sanguinius is Warmaster at the head of it.
Yep, that makes sense.
Seraphim Minanas.
Seraphinius.
Els, who is going to be your Master of Doctrine?
Fulgrim.
I was so hoping you were going to keep them that way round.
So was I. If you don't stay loyal, I'll flay you.
I mean, it might work.
It might work.
Nope.
Very famously didn't.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
we're learning from mistakes here, boys. Come on.
So you've got the Phoenician, in charge of maintaining morale, propaganda, and ideological unity.
Yep.
Was that a panic pick?
No.
Oh.
I as Grand Marshal and have Ferris the other way around. But I think it's better if the pretty one is telling people, "Hey, agree with my campaign. You want to," rather than the brash, bearded, strong.
Is Fulgrim literally just a mouthpiece of it? So once you got the lion in the background, is the Warmaster. You're just entirely using Fulgrim as a face. And is the whole like morale ideology bit just Fulgrim just stand there and be like, would you want to betray me? Look at me.
Fulgrim is the lion's arm candy.
Oh my god.
He's the poster boy, kind of like, because it was the thing is, if John, you've stolen 3 of them from me that I wanted, and
was it Lorgar? Was that the other one you wanted?
No, I told you before we started recording that if you took Lorgar, you could have him. No. You took Gilliman from me, and I took that personally. So I had to go with the other pretty boy, to fill that spot. Because the thing is, I knew. Listen, okay, I knew who I wanted at the head, and I knew who I wanted at the bottom, and I just had to fill the gaps in between of what you both didn't frickin' steal from me, okay?
Okay, can I just point out, you rolled high on most of the picks.
I know!
So we didn't really steal anything from you.
And I got 3 out of... No, you just,
I mean, they're pretty good.
Okay, right, well, let's run down the final list then, because obviously there's no pandering this time. So the final section is our Lord Executioner, our ruthless instrument of terror, used for dire threats or betrayals. And obviously, I picked the Emperor's Executioner, Leman Russ. John?
I mean, Angron is like that is a weapon that you just point at something and it stops existing after they're done.
Yep. And Els?
Come on, I don't need to explain it.
The Lord of Terror.
I mean, yeah.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
He can, yeah. We know.
I'm hoping though, almost like counterintuitively to this, and I feel like I have a lot riding on my Warmaster selection, but I'm hoping that Sanguinius can kind of pull Angron back a little bit.
I mean, you're talking about the guy whose own gene sons go blood crazy, trying to.
I mean, as a result,
he can't even stop his own children from going mental.
Well, then we just
and
send them
he
off.
also
They do their
hates
job.
them.
Okay.
He also hates his own children.
Okay, hang on. Right, let's pull back a minute because this is bordering on to the next section now. So,
okay,
we have our Primarchs, we have our positions, we have our councils ready for war. So let's have a little discussion about how we kind of envision that they'll work, and then we'll each have an opportunity to pick apart the issues that we can foresee in each other's. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just quickly go through my lineup. I think my lineup is, it's pretty, I think, it's self-explanatory, really. We've got the Warmaster himself as my Warmaster, leading the charge. We've got our War of Attrition expert as our hammer. We've got our literal anvil in Rogal Dawn as our Lord Castellan, the Master of Siegecraft and the Defender of Terror. Vulcan, happy Vulcan, and his lovely sons there to, keep everyone happy and content, maintaining all that loyalty. We've got Magnus. Now, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, right? I picked Magnus straight away because I knew no matter what, I could put Magnus anywhere, and I could argue it. Psychic just is the key. Psychic is just the all answer of, okay, cool. I have a problem. He fills it. Done.
Okay. Unless we're doing it, but I'll let you finish, and I'll do my counterpoint in some regards for this guy.
Okay. And obviously, Leman Russ, the Executioner himself, the man who has potentially killed multiple Primarchs, and has certainly beaten many, as our Executioner. I think it's a nice obvious pick. So that's mine done, really. John, please do, because I think your 2 lineups are much more interesting than mine. I think I went for a very safe pick selection on mine.
Do you want me to talk through my list first, and
Yeah.
we'll be discussing yours?
We'll talk through each one first.
Okay, so obviously my Warmaster in Sanguinius is the Primarch that was beloved by all other brothers. That does help a lot in terms of having a figure to rally behind. The other thing is, outside of Sanguinius' angel-like appearance, was known for one other power as a Primarch: the gift of foresight. And having a Warmaster that can essentially predict the future, a pretty powerful play in that regard. Now, the next two, my Lord Strategos and my Lord Castellan, actually, there's also a bit of a play that goes between the two of them, because White Scars are famously a very fast-moving fighting force. Combined with our Lord Castellan in Perturabo, known for obviously the construction of the Iron Cage and the like in terms of those fortifications, but also for artillery. Combining that with a fast-moving, you bomb the ever-living daylights out of the force you're going against, and then as they're recovering, the force sweeps in, cleans it all up. So those two, it could even be a case of, I know Perturabo is famous, or the Iron Warriors are famous for shelling their own troops, but when their troops move fast enough to dodge the artillery shells coming in, that actually works as a strategy. Yeah. They can manage. Gilman is going to keep that kind of internal cohesion, has been loyal all the way through, can also prove to operate as a solo entity. If there is a situation where the Warmaster, you need to separate out that Warmaster from the, they end up getting split, or there's some kind of rifts that occur in with warp space, things like that. As a Grand Marshal, you go, right, this is what we need to do, this is how we're going to organise it, prepared to work self-sufficiently without having to follow those direct orders. Lorgar, in a different scenario, being encouraged and kind of led down that route to use that imperial kind of propaganda and build up essentially a faith around it, you're going to end up with a very loyal force. And then when all shit hits the fan and you need to get a job done, and it's not a nice job, you just drop in a bunch of World Eaters and the problem goes away.
So Angron is your fuck it button.
Yeah, there's not an exterminatus. You press the button, it just drops World Eaters.
I could see that, actually.
I'm pretty sure that's why they made drop pods, isn't it?
Yeah.
just a whole worldie, is that a problem?
They're actually, they're drop pods that are welded shut, because they can't trust them to just, the doors just to open. They're just stored in the drop pod. They drop down, and then they just cut their way out at the end, at the other side.
Yep. Okay, then take us through your council.
Okay, so you have the eldest son of the Emperor, the Lion, at the top as the Warmaster. I actually think that in an alternate universe, the Lion probably would have been the closest pick to Horus, in my opinion. And I mean, looking at your lineup on my screen here, I mean, obviously, like, Jamie's gone for, classic Horus, charismatic, brilliant leader, all of that. And John, you've gone for Sanguinius, who is,
Charismatic, brilliant leader.
the most the most wonderful Primarch that there was. It's like no doubt. And yes, okay, the Lion
That's the crazy potato.
Well, but I don't think that makes him less of a good leader. I think that he's, he can't see into the future, and maybe, he's not as charismatic as his brother, but he is a good fighter, and he will fight till the end for what he believes in, and if his campaign would be, something that he would plan meticulously. He would make sure there were no room for mistakes, and then that's why you have somebody like Alfarius as, let me just make sure I got it right, a Lord Strategos? Strategos? Is that how I'm saying that? Yeah. Strategos, yeah. That's why you have someone like Alfarius as your Strategos, because Alfarius knows how to make himself, not be seen by the enemy. He knows how to get into people's heads. He knows how to make sure it's done quickly, efficiently, and cleanly. And then that's why you have Corvus Corax as your Castellan, because you have somebody with the same tactic as your Lord Strategos. Then those two can work together to make sure that the attacks are clean, the defenses are clean, and they're all done quickly, quietly, and efficiently, right? Then you have Master of Doctrine in Ferris. You might have to remind me what the Master of Doctrine does.
I think it was Grand Marshal you had. Because Grand Marshal's next.
Oh, Grand Marshal's next. Yeah, Grand Marshal's next in Ferris.
Loyalty, discipline, and internal cohesion.
Yeah, and, Ferris Manus noted, maybe he wasn't as loved by everybody else apart from his own sons. But people can learn, and with the right mentor, with the right leader, Ferris Manus could definitely learn how to be more likable with other people other than, his own family as such. And who's the best person to help him do that? Fulgrim, the Phoenician, his best friend, and his brother, who also is improving morale and, making sure that the loyalty in all of the followers is there, and he's the head of the propaganda. He's a pretty face, he's charismatic, he can get that word out there to people so that they listen. And I think with that, then Ferris Manus would also get more of that likability through what Fulgrim would say. And then, of course, if stuff does go wrong, who is better to be called in than the Night Haunter and his sons himself, who specialise in terror tactics. If you are lucky enough, very, very lucky enough to survive a Night Lord attack, I don't think you're going to be saying shite you're not supposed to again. Mostly because you probably won't have a tongue to say it with, but, other than that, and yeah, I think that my campaign would be quite successful.
Okay. Right, so we've presented our councils. Now, let's see what our glaring issues could be. So, I'll give you each an opportunity to ridicule my council. We will then do the same for those two. So, John, please tell me one glaring issue you can potentially see in my council.
My issue with your council, is around Magnus.
Okay.
And my concern with Magnus as I get why you put him there as the Master of Doctrine. My concerns is if you're going down if you go down the route of you're going to use the war, you're going to use psychic abilities in order to maintain that. Those things are known to not come without a price. On top of that, Magnus is very focused around, his studies? Is that somebody who is going to be committed into that role? A role that will probably take him away from the things that he is after doing?
I personally disagree with that, John. I actually wouldn't be worried about Magnus. I would actually be worried about Mortarion.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mortarion is a very okay. I don't think he's necessarily a bad choice to be the one in charge of, your strategy and making, being the head of your army, essentially. Right? I don't disagree with that. I just disagree with maybe putting that level of trust in him when he's kind of a loose cannon, if you know what I mean. But to be fair, other than that niggly feeling at the back of my head, I really like your lineup. It annoys me so much, but I really like it.
Okay, right. John, I'm going to target someone in your lineup that has all the problems you named for mine, and more. Lorgar Aurelian not only is a bookman, so won't be concentrating on war efforts, but, converting the masses, also likes to mess around with the warp and actively seeks out the naughty stuff. But for you, I believe that is also an even bigger problem, because you have got the literal architect of the heresy in close confines with two of the most aggressive Primarchs there has ever existed. Or certainly aggressive legions that have ever existed in the World Eaters and the Blood Angels. Imagine the horror of not a Horus heresy, but a sanguineous heresy with demon vampire space marines and World Eaters turned up to 11.
Yeah.
That's not even talking about the other 3 in your list.
Who said I was entering this competition on the side of good?
If your intention was chaos, then you've won. Because even with Horus, I think, nope, if you got Lorgar and Sanguinius, you win the heresy. Done.
I mean, Khorne is eating well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Els, what's your problem? Or what can you
So
see?
I think that picking Lorgar as the problem was probably the most obvious, but that's not actually the problem I have. Okay. I think that you chose the wrong person to be your Warmaster. So the reason why I think that is because you have, like Jamie said, you have two of the most aggressive, uncontrollable Primarchs in your list in Perturaba and Angron. I do not believe that somebody as good and kind and sympathetic as Sanguinius can put a leash on those boys. But there is one man in your list that can, in my opinion. You need to swap Sanguinius and Jagatai round, because that man, he is big, he is brash, he's got men on bikes. He can crack the whip on those two, even just to the point where they back off and they're like, actually, you know what? Fine, I think I can do that. I think that Sanguinius as your Strategos would be a little bit more, I think it would be smarter. I think that if he was in charge of your army, you would find that your enemies would be very swiftly cut off. I mean, the same could be said for Jagatai Khan, but I just feel that you would be in a much stronger position if Jagatai was your Warmaster instead of Sanguinius, as far as controlling the two angry boys themselves. Lorgar, I mean, we all have a problem with Lorgar, and that's mostly just the obvious. But yeah, Gilliman don't have a problem with. I mean, I do have a problem with the fact that you stole him from me.
We're only doing one apiece.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm done.
There was a thing about Sanguinius, which I did very quickly just have to check. Wasn't offered the position of Warmaster, but I think there's something within the Heresy books in terms of he didn't actively want it though, and I feel like there's something to be said for somebody who doesn't want the position being in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes and no. That can also...
I know it works both ways. Yeah, it does work both ways in that regard. But just like being in that and just having that kind of somebody who didn't want it, having it.
Yeah. The counter argument to that is go watch game House of the Dragon Season 1, Aegon Targaryen. He didn't want the throne, and look how he turned out.
I mean, it was pretty stable right up until the end.
Yeah. Anyway. Els.
Oh god.
I think my problem with yours is that more than half your Primarchs want to kill each other. The Lion and the Haunter fought massive war against each other and have tried to kill each other on multiple occasions. Ferris and Fulgrim literally one killed the other.
No, but they love each other.
Yeah.
In this is an alternate universe. Okay, they love each other.
I'm just saying there is a good chance that half your Primarchs are going to try and kill the other half, and that's
the same thing about you.
One pairing, yes, definitely.
No.
But yes, John.
There's things that there's elements that I want to look at of this. I think my one, if we're going to go for one concern, my one concern is going to be around the Lion as your Warmaster, simply from a perspective of, in much the same way that you said that I should have Sanguinius as my Strategos, I would argue that the Lion would be better in that role, simply from a perspective of, I think as a leader of a crusade, of the Force and that kind of stuff, would push it too far, would essentially almost demand too much, would push their forces further than, and almost, if they were if he was in charge, would lead to a situation where the resources are stretched kind of too thin. There's been too much of a push for that aggression. And I think the kind of the subsequent forces you've got kind of running underneath would almost need somebody that isn't the Lion in charge to be in their roles. Like you've got kind of like a very sneaky element in your in Alvaris and Corax as your fighting force. I think your argument in terms of those two would work really well together is yes, but they need somebody else in charge, because that odds of, well, the Lion is like, I want to get the job done and I will glass planet in order to get it, and they're like, but what if we spent a large number of years organizing an insurgency against this planet so that they capitulate without us ever having to have gone there? And it's like, that's not quick enough, get the job done.
Okay.
Well, I think we could potentially go on for a long time about our opinions on whether these would work or would not. I'm certain that there are a few problems we could pick up from everybody. Now, having received the feedback from your selections, is there any change that you would make? So,
with who we have, or if we had access to others?
With the lineup you have, is there any changes that you would potentially make? Now, I will say that I would probably stick to my guns. I'm quite happy with what I've got, despite some fairly reasonable feedback. But I still think this is probably the optimum way of laying out my Primarchs. John, is there anything you would potentially change?
I think... Is there anything that I would potentially change? I get the argument. I get the argument around Lorgar. I don't think I'd move Lorgar from that position. I think
not out of the Primarchs you've got, no.
Not out of who I've got there. I could. I don't think Ella will agree to disagree on moving the Khan into the Warmaster position. The only potential could be a manoeuvring around Guilliman to Sanguinius, but again, I think, would I rearrange it? I think I'd stay. When I went into it, I was like, these are the ones that kind of fit the roles that I'd want. I don't think I would. I don't think I would swap them.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that's probably the one that you'd think about, but I think you have probably got the right call there. Okay, Els. Is there anything you would change?
I do sort of agree with John on putting the Lion in the Strategos role. However, I'm not confident about Alfarius being a Warmaster. So I think I would probably opt to keep them where they are.
Okay, so with that in mind then, I think it's time to decide who we think would win. Taking all biases aside, which lineup do we think might have a chance of succeeding?
It's really annoying, but I think it's, for me, it's probably yours. Just because you've got Horus at the top, and then you've got Magnus. You know, that would probably be my vote.
I will tell you. I reckon there's two things that will happen here. If it's purely Great Crusade, I think mine probably does win. Horus Heresy, during the time of demonic possessions and stuff like that, I think John's becomes the Heresy. But I think yours, El, is the only one of the three that would stay loyal. Because John literally has Lorgar.
Probably.
And I have half of the guys that turned quite easily to Chaos. Whereas I think the Lion...
I've got Conrad in mind, though.
You do have Conrad, but Conrad only followed his vision. So in an alternate history, I could see your lineup staying loyal.
Yeah.
Because bear in mind that you have Fulgrim and Ferrus, but then assuming that these are divisions that occurred, let's say we take these at the end of Crusade, and then these three factions form. There isn't the interaction between Lorgar and Fulgrim, which means you don't get the Laia Blade, and actually your Emperor's children stay as the Emperor's children. They were loyalist.
Yeah, I feel like El's lineup is the loyalists, John's is the traitors, and then mine is whoever finds them first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean as I said, corn eaten good out of my list. Like that. Like I could assuming that Lorgar ends up down the same path with Corferon and Erebus, and that push happens. And especially with what I said about the idea of like mine would have this kind of idea of like leaning on Sanguinius as this kind of figurehead to it. I think that ends up kind of like almost pushing too far potentially, and leads down that route of chaos corruption. And then I'm just looking down my list and being like, okay, how does everybody? Where do we get our chaos gods line in here?
Okay.
Well, see,
I didn't have a plan for that, but yeah, why not? Let's do that. We're going down the line that John is turning to chaos. So your lineup is the core chaos factions.
mm-hmm.
Well, we obviously know that Angron is going down to the worm eaters.
Yeah, so goes down the route of Khorne.
Yep.
I think Sanguinius taking that Warmaster role is Chaos Undivided.
Has to be.
Has to be Chaos Undivided.
So does Lorgar.
So does Lorgar, but that still fits. Like,
Yes, so
but Black Legion.
We've got 3 Primarchs here that need to be divided between Nurgle, Slaanesh, and Tzeentch. Now, I'm gonna predict, right? Perturabo is Nurgle.
No, that wasn't where my mind was going.
I'm gonna go Perturabo Nurgle, the Khan, because of the Stormseers, Tzeentch, and then Gilliman going full on Roman with the Slaaneshi vibe.
Oh god.
See. Ooh, it was close, but not quite.
God, what
my argument is agree, but there's a flip.
Okay, cool.
So, Khan, I was like the easy answer there is Slaanesh, but no, I think the Tzeentch route is a more interesting route to kind of take it. Your Nurgle aligned is Gilliman.
Right, okay.
And simply from the perspective of looking to keep things the same. So the idea of stagnation, the idea of wanting everything in order, think about how Nurgle has things like the Tallyman and things like that. This idea of like categorization, order, keeping everything the same, something that Gilliman would thrive within.
Okay.
Perturabo goes to Slaanesh from an excess perspective of this idea of constantly striving for perfection. Let's say that the rivalry continues between him and Dawn. He goes to Slaanesh because it's like, I need to make my constructs the most perfect things they can be. And it's more about this idea of going to like the extremes of like needing to be better, like constantly aiming for that.
Okay. Yeah, I can see your reasoning. Els, you got an opinion of the 3?
Who did you choose as your Slaanesh again?
Perturabo.
I mean, yeah, I can kind of agree with most of it. I'm trying to rack my brain around like a Slaanesh worshipping Sanguinius, maybe. Like if he was taken over by Slaanesh rather than Perturabo.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I'm with either of you. To be honest, I'm definitely with you on Nurgle with Gilliman. Like that I could definitely see happening, like 100%.
Okay.
So.
Well, we've got some options there. To be honest, I think we may have just come up with another alternative heresy that might actually be quite cool to see how it would play out. To be honest,
I kind of there's the tiniest part of me that's like a version of each of those as like a kill team, as it was out of the chapters that would be made from that would be quite exciting, quite interesting.
Maybe what we should do at some point is we should just take this idea and we'll get a box of Heresy Marines, 20 Space Marines, and we'll just do them up in that style. That'd be quite cool.
That would be cool.
We could get some interesting things about that. Yes, I quite like where that's going. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we could at some point we could do our fantasy heresy.
I just I enjoy that within our list that we've kind of assembled. We haven't really got which ones win, but I like the divide that occurs where mine is the traitor forces, Elle's is the loyalist, which means that yours must be the one that splits in some way, shape, or form, Jay.
Yeah, I think so.
And it'd be interesting to think about who, not for right now, but an interesting one to think about is how that divide would go.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be interesting. We could look at that maybe at another time. Pull this one back up and well, maybe that'd be a good opportunity for when we get Joe back. Maybe we'll present him these three things and say, right, Joe, you've got to decide where my list gets divided. Who joins the traitors and who joins the loyalists?
That would be interesting to see, actually, coming from Joe.
And then we'll call that our official Mead Hall Heresy team.
Yeah.
The Mead Hall Heresies.
The Mead Hall Heresy.
The Mead Hall Heresy, yeah.
Could be fun.
Also, Joe, I take Lorgard and suddenly my entire team falls to chaos. Just like it's the linchpin that just gets pulled and just be like, right, you fall into chaos. You put Lorgard there.
It's just going to happen. The moment Lorgard turns up, that's it.
I'm like, where? There's no other role. There's no other role you could put Lorgar in.
No.
But you also know that the second you put Lorgar in any position where he's in charge of that commanding over people, is like, I guess we're chaos now.
I mean, literally, you swap Magnus and Lorgar around, I become the heresy team.
Yeah,
immediately. You swap.
You become a scary that is a scary heresy team. There's a few changes in there that's like oof.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you swapped Fulgrim and Lorgar around, that's probably still chaos.
No.
I don't know. Actually, I think that's the only place where you put Lorgar. Lorgar comes up to the lion and is like, "We'd like to go to chaos," and the lion's like,
"Yeah." To be fair, actually, pretty much all of them would probably just kill him.
Everybody be like, "No."
Korax just shoots him in the head. Alfaro stabs him in the back. The lion cuts him in half.
No.
And Conrad Curtis just no.
No, Conrad would just stick his mangy claws in him and ripping him off. What?
I don't know where that was coming from.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, right. Well, I've had a bit of a laugh with that one. I think that's been quite an interesting change of pace.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we will revisit this with models.
Absolutely.
Maybe as a little treat. So,
as a little.
I certainly know I'd enjoy it as a little conversion project.
I think it'd be great fun.
I think it would be very fun.
We'll write our own Black Library books.
Aha! The Mead Hall Library.
The Mead Hall Library.
Yeah, we're not going to go that bad. Okay, right. Well, with that being said, I think we've had a good run at this, so I reckon it's probably time to round up today's episode. And welcome back to the finale, the round table, where we wrap up for today.
Yay!
So, I've had a thoroughly interesting experience discussing the strange concoctions of teams we've made out of Primarchs today.
I had a great time.
Yeah, it was genuinely really interesting.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
It's quite fun to think how we all think differently, and it kind of shows, I think, that the Primarchs are well written enough. I think that you could probably you could literally just take a random selection of them and make an interesting story out of them. Whether you make them loyalists, traitors, or whatever, you can do some quite fun things, I think.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice. They seem to cover most bases. So, what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you a question, basically. And that is, I'd like you to suggest one Primarch pairing that you feel would have the best synergy of our lists. So, let me just I'll bring up the screen for you again. So, is there a pairing within those councils that you think would work particularly well together?
Yes, I've got mine.
Okay.
And it is an Ele's list. And it was one that I've actually... that when you put the two of them together, I was like, I'm not sure I feel this. But the more I've thought about it, the more I thought it's really interesting, is Alpharius and Corvus Corax.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, because that was going to be mine.
I just think it's a really... having those two is a really interesting pair.
They'd be brilliant together.
Mm.
It is an interesting pair, although I do think there's a lot of redundancy in there. Because they feel very similar niches.
But they are very synergistic, which was the brief.
Yeah. Personally, for me, I do love the concept of the Khan and Perturabo. That just seems to fit so nicely. You literally do have just the hammer and anvil, the cavalry, and the front line.
Yeah,
it's almost like they're made for each other.
I could definitely see some there's definitely some fun cinematic moments. You have the shield wall of Iron Warrior's breaches, and the bikes going over the top of the shield wall, like the horse charge over the top of over a phalanx. It's like,
yeah,
see that.
You could do some interesting things. Else, have you got a particular pairing you think would work quite well?
No, as I said, I was gonna say Alpharius and Corax as well.
Okay.
I just think it works.
Okay, and then what about one pairing that you don't think would work?
Lorgar and Guilliman. I just think that no. No, I'm sorry. I don't see it, because I think that Guilliman's very headstrong, and I think that he and Lorgar would fall out a little bit. So, yeah, that's probably mine. I don't think would work.
I'd definitely say Conrad and the Lion.
I think that those two would very much butt heads in terms of... It's funny, though, because they are both very aggressive.
They are both very aggressive, but they also hate each other's guts.
I'm gonna go to your list, Jamie, and I'm gonna point to your last two.
Yeah, I figured you might.
Magnus and Rust.
Yeah. Do you know what? Having done the only Primarch I wish I picked instead of anyone I picked, I kind of wish I had Angron rather than Lehman.
Yeah, although Angron's a loose cannon. Like maybe there's a version of the interactions between those two that doesn't lead to them very much butting heads. Yeah. But I feel like Magnus and Rust.
Lehman and Magnus never got on well anyway. Lehman, don't forget, was the one that basically caused the whole Kia incident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think I probably should have swapped those two around, because I was somewhere in Ari, and then I just went for Lehman, whereas I should have gone with Angron, I think.
If you had, I'm just wondering how they would have been in the same position. They literally would have swapped places between those two. It's just how that interaction would have gone down. Interesting.
I don't think it would have changed the fact that you would still definitely be the full-on heresy boy.
Oh yeah, but instead,
it just have cold wolves.
I mean, there's already been conversions of Angron into Chaos Lehman Rust, so I suppose it was inevitable.
Yeah, Pete the Wargaming was one. That's for,
yeah, that one exactly. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, that's a fantastic conversion. Okay, cool. Well, very interesting. Ooh. I'm quite fascinated by the possibilities there. So, it remains for me to basically say, if you've got your own opinions on Primarch groupings, what do you think of our groupings? Do you think they would work? Do you think they wouldn't work? Rate them down in the comments below. Tell us who you think would win in a campaign, or tell us who we got wrong, who we should have swapped. Do you agree with us that John's list is definitely going to turn to the heresy? I'll turn to the forces of chaos. I'm pretty sure that we're right on that one, so let us know. Confirm it for us.
Just because of Lorgar.
That's all it takes. So, anyway, do let us know down below what your opinions are. All that's remained for me to say, really, is to go and check out our socials. Do, obviously, like, subscribe, and share our content. Hopefully, by the time this has come out, we've returned to our regularly scheduled releases. And potentially, maybe, by the time this is coming out, we may be teetering on the edge of new content to come.
Woo!
But for now, that is all from us here at Mead Wargaming. I have been your host, Jay, and I have been joined by...
John.
And Ele.
Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye, and see you next time in the Mead Hall.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye!